Hello everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Joined with me is my lovely fiancée Jen, who will be watching X-Men First Class for the very first time. And Falcon and Boston will be watching it for the first time as well. Last time we finished up the original X-Men trilogy, it ended off on a cliffhanger that never really gets resolved, with Magneto moving the little chess piece and then Charles' mind going into that guy. So this one, the political climate at the time, they had just released X-Men Origins Wolverine, which we saw, I believe, with Matt and them.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that I really remember is, well, maybe it was Origins.
Yeah. So they were thinking at the time, before Origins Wolverine came out, to do X-Men Origins Magneto and X-Men Origins Professor X. But because of the reception of X-Men Origins Wolverine, they decided to scrap those projects and we got First Class instead, which kind of serves as sort of an origin for both of them. Anyway, this one, well, I won't get into how I feel about it. My opinion actually differs from most people about this movie, so curious to see what your thoughts are. How are you feeling going into this one?
Good. I felt like the X-Men trilogy was pretty good in my opinion. It sounds like this is going to be just a little bit different than what I'm used to. So that'll be interesting. And you mentioned that there's going to be like a tad like origin story. A
little bit, yeah.
Which I always like those. I like finding out, you know, how did this person arrive at how they are now, what happened in their life.
Yeah. Well, we're also going to get some continuity issues, things that like happened like later in the original X-Men trilogy and things that don't quite align. So I try to just kind of take this as, like, I try to separate them as much in my mind as I can, even though they're the same characters type of thing.
Okay.
Still get some of our regular X-Men, different actors for them, but...
Is Mystique in this one?
Well, do you want me to tell you, or do you want to find out?
I want to find out.
Okay, so different actors playing some of the characters, but also some of the same actors playing some of their characters before. It gets really sloppy, and actually the further we get into this, the sloppier it's gonna get, so.
Okay, well, I mean, that's not gonna change my mind.
Yeah, so this is the first of like a new arc, X-Men First Class. And since we missed the comment of the day in X2 and X3, we're gonna make sure we have a comment of the day today. So this one comes from our Spider-Man No Way Home review / sort of reaction that we kind of did in that one. I know when this is coming out, it had been probably a couple weeks at this point. And some spoilers for No Way Home, so if you still haven't seen it, I can't imagine you hadn't seen it at this point, but if you haven't, just spoilers ahead. So, this is a comment from Tom Smith. One of the best moments of this film for me was realizing that the fight between Tom and the Green Goblin was on top of a massive Cap shield. The symbolism of Cap and everything he stood for as Toby stops Tom from carrying out the worst mistake. Complete redemption and sent goosebumps all up my arms. I agree. We had a lot of thoughts about the movie. Jeremy and I actually did another kind of in-depth conversation about No Way Home, so make sure you check that out as well. Thank you so much, Tom Smith, for your comment of the day. You want your comment featured, make sure to comment down below. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Still, a lot of you watch regularly but are not actually subscribed yet, so make sure you subscribe down below. All right, that's it. Let's go ahead and get into it. X-Men First Class.
Didn't we already see this?
I don't know if they used some of the same footage or not.
Is that Albert Einstein?
Mm-hmm.
I know. All right.
My mother has never set foot in this kitchen in her life. Certainly never made me a hot chocolate.
Is that Mystique?
Yeah. That's a little baby.
Oh.
It's a food you
I
don't
didn't realize they had a history.
Mm-hmm.
Ich bin nicht so wie die.
Kevin Bacon.
I was like, no, that can't be him.
Yeah.
Mama sehen.
Eine Münze ist gar nichts im Vergleich zu einem großen Tor. Gute bei den Nazis ist, dass ihre Methoden anscheinend Erfolg haben.
Oh gosh.
Service 3. Und du bewegst die Münze.
Oh. This is really hard to watch because, I mean, stuff like that happens, you know what I mean?
Ja.
Oh.
Wow. Oh.
Ausgezeichnet, Erik.
What a great intro.
Green, one blue. It's a mutation. It's a very groovy mutation. I've got news for you, Amy. You are a mutant.
But
From
this is
single-celled
wheels.
organisms to being the dominant form of reproductive life.
Oh, look, you have heterochromia too.
Sorry, what? Don't talk to me. You did that on purpose. A small slip-up is one thing. A big one does not bear thinking about.
Mutant and proud. Would you date me?
Of course I would.
Looking like this.
What? You're my oldest friend.
I'm your only friend.
Thank you for that. God, I don't know what's gotten into you lately. You're awfully concerned with your looks.
La détention de cet or est illégale.
Cet or est tout ce qu'il reste, mon peuple. Vendu de leurs biens, arraché de leurs dons.
Oof.
Ceci est le prix de leur sang. Touchez pas à cette alarme.
Ugh.
Plombage en métal, hein?
Oh.
On a peur
Oh,
que
the
quelqu'un
sound
vole
is
les
what gets me on this.
Je vous prévenais qui que ce soit de mon arrivée. Je vous retrouverai.
What are you doing?
Using some equipment the CIA didn't give me. Colonel Hendry,
Yes, ma'am.
Emma Frost. We're having a party. And here's the entertainment. Come with me.
A little raunchier than the other X-Men, huh?
Excuse me.
Are you sure we can't get you a refill, Bob?
No. You put our nukes in Turkey or anywhere that close to Russia, and you're looking at war.
I feel like that could be accidentally pushed at any time.
Right?
I don't ask for favors, Colonel. I express my expectations.
Uh-oh.
Hell did you put in my drink?
You're thinking of running. Hiding. We'd find you, Henry.
Smoking them funny cigarettes, people don't disappear.
Funny cigarettes.
I've reconsidered my position, and I now believe we should put Jupiter missiles in Turkey.
Stop wasting my time. Looks like Henry wants to start World War III.
Well, now what?
We find an expert on genetic mutation.
Buenas tardes, caballeros. Buenas tardes. Mitburger. Schmeckt gut, ne? Das Beste.
Mein Vater hat die schönsten Anzüge Düsseldorfs gemacht.
Meine Eltern kamen aus Düsseldorf.
Wie ist der Name?
Sie hatten keinen Namen. Der Name wurde ihnen weggenommen. Schweinebauern und Schneidern.
He's an intimidating guy.
Yeah. Not at like face value, but
Well, Michael Fassbender's a really good actor.
he does it with like very little emotion too.
He's just like intense.
Uh-oh.
He brings it back to his hand.
And he finishes his beer. I love it.
Let's just say I'm Frankenstein's monster.
Boston, I can't see.
Busy. Oh my gosh.
I need another drink. Pretty little beam with the mutated MCR1 gene.
I really need your help. I think we should just talk when you're sober. Do you have any time tomorrow?
This is very important to me, and if I can help you, I will do my utmost.
Let's wrap things up, shall we?
I knew better than to trust you.
Pull it.
I'll do it, I swear to God.
No, you won't. But I will.
Oh, okay.
I've got the power to absorb energy. Keeps me young. That's the boring part.
Okay.
I can read your mind.
I've seen this before in a magic show.
No, Agent Stryker, although I could ask you about your son, William, who you were thinking about, which is very nice.
William
but
Stryker.
I think
You brought a goddamn spy into this facility.
How's that for a magic trick?
What are you gonna do, Levine? Levine?
I've just frozen him for a moment because I'd like to talk to you. It's good, isn't it? You still want my help? Meet me on the 3rd floor of the parking garage.
Not only can he read minds, he can communicate with them as well.
That is incredible.
Probably straight up like Navy SEAL.
Maybe just regular seal.
Herr Doktor.
Kleine Erik Lenze.
He's here to kill you.
What is her exact power?
She has like psychic power like Charles, but also like diamond skin.
This is incredible. I could actually feel her inside my mind. I'm very sorry, but I don't think I'm going to be much help to you tonight. You're on your own.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
This is the Weatherman.
Is that his real name?
No, I don't know his real name, but that's what I called him last time.
Oh my goodness. Destroying this beautiful ship. And it's supposed to be Magneto?
Yeah.
You can't. You'll drown. You have to let go.
So they've met before.
Not until now.
I mean, he knew his name.
Well, you read his mind.
You were in my head. How did you do that? You have your tricks, I have mine. I'm like you. Just you're not alone.
Whatever you want to call him, he's working with the Russians. We might need your help to stop him.
Marvelous.
This is Hank McCoy, one of our most talented young researchers.
And then Professor X just outed him on accident.
Didn't ask, so I didn't tell.
He's got hands for feet. Oh, she gets off on that, huh?
Oh yeah.
Made me this. What am I thinking?
I don't know.
This needs ice. Fetch me some. There's a good girl.
Oh, okay.
Charles has never understood. He's never had to hide. Go ahead. Take the blood.
Just trying to get some of that beast. I know it's a pretty big needle.
Kinky.
Sometimes they make it too easy.
I can help you.
Charles and I find the mutants. No suits.
I'm with Eric. We'll find them alone. Good luck using your installation without me.
Call it Cerebro.
Yep.
Is in the Spanish for brain?
Yes.
What an adorable lab rat you make, Charles.
Don't spoil this for me, Eric.
Are you sure we can't shave your head?
Don't touch my hair.
You cats know it's double for both, right?
More tea, Vicar? Don't mind if I do.
She's a butterfly?
It's more like a dragonfly.
Hoping you would take us all the way. That's a 6-hour drive.
That will give us plenty of time to talk.
Alex Summers.
Look at all the fish.
I'd rather go out with the fish.
Kind of girl.
Oh, is that the guy from Get Out?
Go f yourself.
Still has that charm.
They just leave.
Is that the extent
Yeah,
of his appearance?
They got one F word to make this PG-13.
What's her name again? Snowflake?
Emma Frost.
The telepath. I shouldn't be able to feel him at this distance. They're recruiting.
We were there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it was never empty. Doubt it ever is empty. Look at that, nobody. We have any Russian fans that watch? How do you feel about, like, I feel like the Russians are always like the bad guy and everything.
I want to be called Mystique.
Damn, I wanted to be called Mystique.
Yeah, that is the guy from Get Out.
He's a fish?
He like evolves
And a
to
man?
his environment.
Oh.
Is that the kid from the Hannah Montana movie?
He's Cyclops' dad?
I believe so, yeah. There's their Disney Channel moment there too and everything.
Into those quick pushes.
I'm telling you, these kids are not ready for shore.
I think they're going to surprise you. They're an exceptional bunch of young people.
Who destroyed the statue?
It was Alex.
You should be Professor X, and you should be Magneto.
I expect more from you.
And yet they still take the names.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about how they just sort of came up with the names like that.
Easy, easy. Take it easy, chaps.
So you're sure?
There.
That's cool.
Yeah.
If she's a telepath and I read her, she'll know we're here.
Shaw sends his apologies, but he's indisposed. He asked me to come in his place. I'm a lot better company.
She's his right-hand woman. That's good enough for me.
Eric?
Here we go. Oh. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, why not? he's powerful enough.
Pathetic.
You are.
Maybe that's about to turn into a different kind of movie.
Eric, that's enough.
She won't be shifting into diamond form again.
I mean, they're really dumbing this down.
Literally had like one of those
Simplified.
sticky boards with a giant missile thing.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Such a cliche line in movies.
Oh, I didn't know the circus was in town. Hey, come on, honey, give us a little, come on, Bigfoot, let's go.
Wait,
hey,
did they fix the
come on.
class?
Hey.
Is this guy supposed to be like the devil? What is, I mean...
No, he's just a mutant that teleports, but he looks like the devil. I think they're trying to say that he is like Nightcrawler's father. Oh, they broke the glass again. We just fixed that.
Here's a pretty cool power.
We just fixed that window too.
They're right through that door. Just let us normal people go. We're no threat.
Just let us normal people go.
My friends, there's a revolution coming. Choose freely, but know that if you are not with us, then by definition you are against us.
It's ironic that Magneto's ideology would actually align with
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
the Nazi who killed his mother.
Stop.
Oh,
I'm coming
that
with
too.
you. Do it!
Ah, nice.
It's a noble gesture. Adapt to this.
Oh my gosh.
I know there were some fans that weren't happy about that because he's more of a role in the comics, you know, to be killed off so quickly.
Я слышал, Куба прекрасно, это и так близко к Флориде. Волков.
Ничего. We can avenge him.
Avengers.
Got nowhere to go.
Oh, yes, we do.
The Russians have sent their warheads to Cuba. We have a week before the ship hits the coast.
Retaliate with a full nuclear response.
Jeez.
Do we agree?
He's in fresh off the boat.
Соединенные Штаты направили свои это, не оставляют нам выбора. И мы пошлем.
Blockade of all missiles bound for Cuba.
What a scary time to have actually lived through, honestly.
You're sure?
I'm sure.
Probably a safer way to test your powers, guys.
No. No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't shoot anybody point blank, let alone my friend.
Did I shut the door?
Yeah.
I will teach you to control this, Alex. If you like those, all you need is a red nose. Right, Bozo?
If you're using half your concentration to look normal, then you're only half paying attention to whatever else you're doing.
This is just the prototype. The real one will look considerably better. It'll be a whole suit, see?
Jesus.
You truly believe I'll fly this time?
Okay, let me help.
Jesus.
I like how after this he goes home to his racist family and get out.
Wonderful work, Hank. Thank you for
He just copped that mannequin.
Just
Did you see that?
don't.
That's
We're
good
just
shit.
gonna skip right past that.
You're serious?
Oh my gosh. I wonder who upkeeps the lawn. Does Charles have a guy or something?
There's so much more to you than you know. Not just pain and anger. Well done.
You know, Michael Fassbender's smile, his teeth look a lot like Ewan McGregor.
Tensions mount as a Soviet missile ship nears Cuba. There are widespread reports of panic buying.
COVID.
Supermarkets clear.
Heroin.
Should we have to hide?
You already do. I just want to look
normal.
Yeah.
Hank, don't. We are different. But we shouldn't be trying to fit into society. Mutant and proud.
You look beautiful now.
Ooh. Hank, you're so close.
Screw you too, Hank. Never getting a piece of that. Ever. Ever. Told her she was ugly and made her cry.
And walked out. My feet are a little askew, Mystique. You'll never understand my pain.
Tomorrow, mankind will know that mutants exist. Sure, us, they won't differentiate.
We have it in us to be the better men.
We already are. Peace was never an option.
That's a meme.
Ooh.
Still really not that big a deal.
As long as he keeps his socks on.
How are you gonna grab stuff now, Hank?
Oh.
Uh-oh. It's the original Mystique.
I prefer the real Raven.
This is also a meme.
I said the real Raven. Perfection.
Could you pass me my robe?
You don't have to hide. Have you ever looked at a tiger and thought you ought to cover it up?
Joe Exotic,
No.
come in.
It's time for you to be free.
Love what you've done with your hair.
Sorry, what? Yeah. God's sake, Raven. Where are your clothes? Put some clothes on.
His pets are always cuter when they're little, right?
You're a literal child.
I don't know what's gotten into you, Nick.
Do we really have to wear these?
It didn't attack the cells. It enhanced them.
Stop it. Looks like friggin' Blue Hermione.
It looks
from
like
Shane.
Elmo.
Never looked better, man.
Hank?
Mock me.
Stop mocking him. You're hurting his feelings, sweetie.
Still going with Elmo. Very angry Elmo.
Today's episode brought by the letter A for ass whipping.
There's a lot of familiar faces in this movie.
Yeah.
Боевая готовность! Аральское море, вам
Why aren't
приказано
they
держать
turning?
курс. Не пересекать линию.
Looks pretty messy out there.
I just can't take him seriously.
The crew of the RLC are all dead. Shaw's been there.
He's still here, somewhere.
Repeat, do not fire.
They've signaled the cargo ship to turn around, sir.
Jeez.
Что?
They're here. That telepath is powerful.
And obviously we don't have sonar.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
The point between rage
And serenity.
Impressive.
It's the weatherman.
He's turning himself into some kind of nuclear bomb.
We got no time. The Geiger camp's going out of control.
I can guide you through once you're in, but I need you to shut down whatever it is that's blocking me. That's the nuclear reactor. Get down! There's no one here, goddammit!
Eric. What a pleasant surprise. Why are you on their side? Why fight for a doomed race who will hunt us down as soon as they realize their reign is coming to an end? I'm sorry for what happened in the camps.
He's back! It's working!
You just just starting to scratch the surface.
I want to help you. This is our time.
Everything you did made me stronger.
You are my creator.
Now, Charles!
Sorry, Charles.
Eric, please, no turning!
I'd like you to know that I agree with every word you said. We are the future. Unfortunately, you killed my mother. This is what we're going to do.
No. Please, Eric, no.
And I'm going to move the coin.
Please, Eric.
Gruesome.
We have an agent on that beach. One agent. She's collateral damage.
The real enemy is out there. United in their fear of the unknown. Tell me I'm wrong.
Приказ. Открыть огонь по берегу. Fire. Огонь!
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric, you said yourself, we're the better men. They're just following orders.
Being at the mercy of men just following orders. Never again.
Yeah.
Eric, release them!
I don't want to hurt you. Don't hurt me.
Gentlemen, it's been an honor serving with you.
That's how he ended up in a wheelchair?
I'm so sorry.
I said back off!
She didn't do this, Zach. I tried to warn you, Charles. We want the same thing. My friend. But we do not.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
This society won't accept us. Who's with me? No more hiding.
You should go with him. It's what you want.
You promised me you would never read my mind. Take care of him. Never forget.
Don't, Charles. Charles, don't move, okay?
I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs.
Wheels has made his appearance.
Next thing you know, I'll be going bald.
X-Men.
Was she ever in any of the...
Moira was the end of X3. She was the one taking care of that comatose body.
Oh.
All that time wiped clean from your mind. Just gone.
Kiss.
Oh, Jesus.
Right?
The CIA is no place for a woman.
Oh, that's a little much.
I know we've had our differences. I was rather hoping you would fill it.
And fill a few other things.
Holden,
sorry, okay, all right, sorry about that.
Eric, I believe.
I prefer Magneto.
I didn't see a Stan Lee appearance, unless we missed it.
I don't remember him being in this one. I don't think he was. Nope, no post-credit scene. I got some issues with the movie, I'll be honest with you, but I'd love to know what you thought.
I think it's definitely my least favorite.
Really? You're not saying that because I said I didn't.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I felt like they were trying too hard with a lot of this movie. Well, my favorite thing about the movie was seeing the relationship between Charles and Magneto. Mm-hmm. I really, really liked seeing that history because I was very curious about that. Yeah. And I think the guy who plays Magneto, perfect. Like there was a lot of moments that could have been very cheesy with his character, but he pulled it off really well. Yeah. So I really like that. Also, Charles, the actor, in the beginning I was a little like, ooh, I don't know, but they ended up having a really good chemistry. It really fills in that, like, you know, baseline respect that you know, we got from the X-Men trilogy. We kind of see the origin of that, which is was really enjoyable for me. Big problems that I have with this movie is just some of the characters were forgettable for me. Like the guy that was playing, or his capability was like Sonic Boom. And pretty much all of the, I guess, kids, teenagers, except for Mystique. And I wasn't too crazy about Jennifer Lawrence playing. I don't know if it's because I saw Rebecca play her and she did such a great job. And I'm very aware that I may have like a natural bias for like kind of that first actor or actress that plays that character. But then again, you have the situation with Magneto where he pulled it off, you know?
Both he and Ian McKellen, I think, are great.
Yeah, so
portrayals.
I don't think it's that. I think that they just were not memorable to me, or for me. The Mystique character, I'm so used to her character being strong, very emotionally strong. I just didn't, I don't know, I didn't get that from Jennifer Lawrence playing her. She may have been the wrong choice for that particular character, I don't know. But none of those characters, one of them, I mean, a couple of them were laughable. Like the girl that was like a butterfly or a fly.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you a vampire? Are you a fly? Like, what are you? Kind of the way that they went about it as well. Like, she was never intimidating to me, especially during that like last fight scene where she was like flying through the air, and it just didn't it didn't work for me. I did like the Moira character. I liked that dynamic of having her, like, she's a regular human, right?
Moira, yeah.
Yeah, and her working for the CIA, I liked that additional storyline, but I think what loses it for me is just the characters. They weren't the characters that we know, and they didn't give that like oomph for me.
Yeah.
And I understand that this was supposed to be like a prequel, I guess, to it. So you're supposed to have the early connections to these characters, but some of them just didn't work for me. It did drag on a tad bit too. Visually, there was a couple of scenes that just were a little bit rough. Kevin Bacon, I don't know how to feel about his performance. There were moments where I'm like, all right, this guy plays a pretty good villain. And then there were other moments where I was just like, he's like too much.
I felt like he was just like having fun with it. Like he wasn't like overtly serious at any point in time. It just looked like he was having fun.
I don't know, but I did find it kind of ironic that Magneto pretty much, he had the exact same ideals and opinions as him. I mean, in obviously the later films.
Yeah.
This came after, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he took his helmet or whatnot. I'm like, it's the exact same person. Like, it was the same speech too. Come with me and join, you know? So
you would think that like a Jewish mutant that went through World War II and saw was the victim of somebody who thought that they were genetically superior than them. You think that he would have just like a natural empathy.
Or it would take
humans.
him a little bit longer to
get to that point.
I don't know. That was
I think it's because we know that mutants are superior, but in like the socio-political climate of the in-universe, mutants are still deemed as like lower than humans.
I think it's a situation where Magneto just literally could not handle it anymore and had a breakdown of ethics. That's what it seemed like to me, where he felt like the evidence was so overwhelming.
And they're still persecuted, like in the movie. So I guess I do need to take that into consideration. But
yeah, it did. I was just shocked that, I mean, he spent so much time working with Charles, helping to train these mutants, and it took just a few minutes for him to be like, that's it. And he basically became Shaw to a T. So, but you know what? That was fine. I understood that they needed to incorporate that development and him crossing that line for us to get Magneto. So I appreciate that. It was very strange how it went from 0 to 60 with him, because he's such a strong personality.
Yeah.
You know, and he has such strong beliefs. His mother was killed. Obviously that left him scorned. So I take that into account, and that was not my dilemma at all with this film. I think for me, it was just, many of the characters just, I didn't resonate with them. I didn't feel like they were like strong enough, bold enough on film.
Yeah.
Some of the storyline I felt like kind of dragged on.
Beast?
The Elmo looking at, Beast. I felt like they did such a disservice to that character because the way he was portrayed in the trilogy was, again, a very strong individual. He was, the makeup in this one just
doesn't look as good.
No,
I agree.
It made it like very childlike. It was just not.
That's one of the points I was going to make too. I thought that Mystique didn't look as good as Rebecca Romijn in any of the original movies. I thought Beast didn't look as good or like believable as Kelsey Grammer. Because when we saw Kelsey Grammer, we're like, oh, okay. But this, he looks like a stuffed animal. You know, the blue looks like a fake, you know, bright blue.
But it's not just the way they look. It's also how they carried themselves.
Yeah.
With Rebecca, again, she was a very strong individual. And that came through with her makeup and whatnot. Same with Beast. I felt so bad because I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see him. And when he came on screen, I was just like, this is the guy. I couldn't believe it. It just, I felt like they did a huge disservice. They could have done much better.
Yeah.
There was a couple good points, like the opening scene I thought was very, very strong.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch for obvious reasons. But I thought that was very, very strong. Really, the big positive was just the relationship between Magneto and Charles.
Yeah.
And seeing Magneto like kind of build up to where he met Charles, you know? Emma Frost, again, she kind of reminded me of like a Bond girl, you know?
Yeah, there's that feeling throughout. Maybe it's a 60s thing.
That was like a character that I felt like they could have got right, had a lot of potential, and for whatever reason, it just, like, she had her moments, but overall, she wasn't like great, you know what I mean? Like, the characters from the trilogy were very memorable for me, like Jean Grey, Cyclops, they were all like right away when they came on screen, they like caught your attention. She caught your attention for obvious reasons, but not the reasons that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
You may feel differently.
No, I agree. A lot of comic book fans feel that way about Emma Frost in this movie because she is a much more prominent, more powerful character in the comics. For me, I think the first like quarter of the movie I think is the strongest. All the stuff with Magneto, his origin, the whole thing with Kevin Bacon, I thought was fantastic. And then for me, it just kind of goes further and further downhill as we go. Like, I hated the whole sequence, like where the teenagers are in the room, and there's like one moment where there's like a party sequence where they get caught like dancing, and you see Beast hanging upside down, and you see Angel floating around, and that very much just seemed like I don't know, you're mutants, you hang on stuff. It just seemed
I felt
sloppy.
but they also like almost defaulted to like, oh, they're teenagers, so we might as well just
make them idiots.
Exactly, and that was, to me, that was automatically doing a disservice to their character and left like a bad taste in my mouth for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and then we talked about the makeup and costumes, but the costumes I thought looked fake and like a lot worse than they did in the other ones. They wanted to do that yellow thing that's in the comics, but I just don't think it worked in this iteration. I thought that they looked cheap. I thought it looked clunky. The thing I probably don't like the most about it is probably the way they made Charles like crippled. We were building up this relationship between Charles and Eric, and then they split in this movie. Now, in the other movies and all the other iterations, their friendship lasted like decades before this split. You know, they worked together for such a long period of time. And while they were close, and while we saw a lot of development for them as really good friends, I feel like it would have been better to have had like all this happen, not cripple Charles in this movie, had them work together maybe in the sequel, and then, you know, like years down the line, they've developed a school working together or something along those lines.
I agree with that, because in the trilogy, that is the feeling that I got from it, that they had been friends for decades.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart was even walking with him to Jean Grey's house. You know, they'd been doing that for a while. So that's probably the biggest thing I didn't like about this, because now, like, throughout the rest of the movies, they're like, Charles and Eric were so close and they had such a strong bond that I'm like, Well, did they really? I mean, there was a time lapse there where they were like recruiting the 6 kids, but how long was that? Maybe 6 months, you know, 3 months?
That was another complaint. I guess best way to describe it is I felt like it didn't transfer correctly from like the trilogy to this movie with it being a prequel.
Yeah, and Hugh Jackman's like in it too, so there is some connectivity to those original ones.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about the character portrayal.
Oh.
You know, like Mystique. It literally seems like 2 different people.
Yeah, I try to be generous with that, like because they're younger, like Professor X is like drinking at college or whatever. Because they're like a good 30, 40 years
Yeah,
younger.
but see, here's the thing. With Magneto and Charles, I felt like that did transfer. Even though they were different people playing that character, it was believable to me that was their early years.
Like a slightly less mature, but still they're themselves.
Exactly. But I felt like they overdid it. You know, they went the route of, oh, they're young, so we're gonna make them absolutely immature as we can. And to me, and they did all of them that way too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like one of the characters or 2, they were all stupid.
My last gripe about it would probably be those teenage characters. I just don't care about a single one of them. There's not one of those characters I'm like, man, I really wish we got more Havoc in this movie. You know what I mean? And I know that was probably fan service.
I like the one guy
fan service.
The one guy that I thought that could have been potentially interesting was the guy that was killed first.
Darwin. Again, lost potential there. He was the only one I liked, and of course they killed him.
Exactly. So, and also I don't know what his name is, but the devil guy.
Oh yeah, Azazel.
That character irritated me. Like, I don't know, like...
Oh yeah, the weatherman is there too.
Yes. Even like the guys or the characters that were not like childish, which were like the weatherman and whatever, they came off as like laughable.
It was too like stereotypical bad guy, I feel like. There was no depth to them other than just work here to follow orders and kill.
Right. Again, I feel like there were so many situations in this movie where like they just pushed it too hard. They thought that like more the better, which just did not work. But I did like the origin story of Charles. I probably wouldn't watch this movie again, but I'm glad that I saw it for the sake of Charles and Magneto. I really felt like they truly saved this movie.
Yeah.
You know, without that origin story, I think it would be an absolute loss, absolute horror movie.
Well, Days of Future Past, I believe, is the next one. And it's interesting about that one because it's a soft reboot of this is how I would categorize it. It's a soft reboot of First Class and a continuation of the X-Men trilogy at the same time. So once again, it gets kind of more muddied. There's some.
So there's going to be a whole set of new different characters?
No, not exactly.
Or it's the same characters from First Class?
It's a mix of both, which makes it more confusing. Because now there's some things in the First Class timeline that don't make sense in that one, but would make sense maybe in the X-Men original trilogy, and it gets. This is where it starts getting really wonky.
This might be too much work.
It's gonna get wonky, yeah, because we'll see Professor X from like the original X-Men trilogy, you know, but he's the Professor Xavier of the First Class movies. The problem is that some of the things that they're reacting to in Days of Future Past are things that happened in the original X-Men trilogy that couldn't have happened.
All right, stop right there. Got it. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, just because this one was crap doesn't mean that one...
I think that Days of Future Past is the best one of these newer ones, in my opinion, I would say. So I think it's a good movie.
I wanted to like this movie because I really liked the trilogy. So my belief was, you know, anything that has to do with X-Men would be of some quality. This one wasn't absolute shit.
Yeah.
But it was not what I expected. I won't watch it again.
Wasn't, yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah. What would you rate this one?
I'm disappointed what they did with a lot of characters. Emma Frost or whatever, the fact that she was half naked throughout the movie did a huge disservice. It would have been fine if she was half naked, but they did something great with her character.
Yeah, or there was like a plot reason for it.
Yeah.
Like with Moira, she stripped down to fit in with the other strippers or whatever.
But they didn't do that, so I'm like, please don't default to that. The main characters, like the actual mutants, they were not up to par for me. They didn't come on screen, I was like, wow, oh my gosh, like this is cool.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of like, all right. It just was like mediocre, I guess, for a lot of those characters. They weren't memorable. I absolutely loved the Magneto Charles storyline. I thought that was the best storyline of the entire movie, and every time they came on screen or their like friendship was highlighted, I loved that. I thought that was great. And the actors were just on point. It's so funny to see them act like so well and have that chemistry, and then you see Blue Guy, you know, and it's just not the same. I think I'm gonna go with a 5.5.
That's actually exactly what I was gonna give it, 5.52. Highlight was easily Eric Lensher, the Magneto stuff. I liked the Charles X stuff as well and them working together, but I would say everything with Magneto was the highlight of this film for me.
If Mystique had been a little bit better, it might have impacted my score because I was really looking forward to like a pop-up of Mystique. When she came on, I was like, oh, here we go. But she fell flat, and it could be Jennifer Lawrence. It could not be. It could just be the way that they portrayed her, but kind of fell flat.
Everything else for me was not that great, but those are just some of our thoughts. I know that First Class has a lot of people that really do love it. They think it's the best of the X-Men films.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's Jeremy's favorite, you know. And
really?
when we did My Friend Watches, he talked about it and why he liked it so much. And for me, I just don't. Sorry.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. There's also so many familiar faces in this movie, and usually that gets me like hyped up. Like, I know that guy. I know her. But I wanted to like it so bad, you guys, but I just didn't.
Yeah, but let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, whether you liked it or whether you didn't like it, some issues about our opinions. We'd love to know your thoughts. If you did enjoy the video, whether you agreed with us or not, leave our video a like. It does help the channel out a lot. Subscribe so you'll be notified the next time we post an X-Men video. Days of Future Past is next. And consider checking out my Patreon. You'll get early access to select videos as well as full-length watch-alongs. You'll need your own copy of the movie though. As always, Jen and I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care.
Falcon.
Oh, my leg.
What grade did you give it?
It was a 3. Not my favorite.